Okay, hi everybody. So today I want to talk very briefly about using reference in your art. This is something I've talked about in a previous video. Philosophically, should you use reference? You can go check that out if you feel like it. The short answer is yes. Yes, you should. You should always use reference because you don't actually know what stuff looks like. Anyway, go watch the video, or not. I just gave you the précis. So, as you can see, I'm working on this illustration here. And yes, I used reference. I used reference for the flower, I used reference for the skull, I used reference for the ring. I know what a ring looks like, but I wanted something very specific. And that's the point. Art lies in specificity. The glass, for example, is less interesting than the champagne flute. Because a glass could be it gives you a lot of possibilities to imagine. A champagne flute is something specific. That's just the example I came up with off the top of my head. So yeah, I used reference for the ship. I used reference for the sword. Of course, I know what a sword looks like, but I want to be really particular. So, looking at this illustration, I was thinking, we've got sort of an imbalance in the composition, and I wasn't quite sure what to put here. I played with a couple of ideas. We've got all this empty space. Finally, I decided, okay, let's put a spider. Spiders are cool. And I could just draw, let's shift this to the side. I could just draw a spider. Everybody knows what a spider looks like. They've got, a butt, and they've got a head, and they've got eyes, and little that, and they've got 8 legs. And they go like this, right? Oh, it's the Spider-Man logo. Anyway, and thread coming out of the backside. So, that's an okay, perfectly cromulent spider, right? It's fine. But again, the thing is, art lies in specificity. So I didn't want just a generic spider, I wanted a particular spider. I wanted cobwebs coming off of the sword. Let's zoom in a little bit and see if we can get that better. I wanted a particular kind of web. I wanted cobwebs, not an orb web. And yes, I know more than I wanted to know about spiders. Blame my son. That was one of his special interests when he was little. So now I'm more into spiders than I ever anticipated. So I decided to do a little search. And this is how you're going to use your reference. You're going to decide what you want to draw. I wanted to draw a cobweb spider. So I went to the World Wide Web, as we called it in my youth, and I started looking for images of spiders. And what you're going to do, I'll do a cutaway here so you're not just looking at my page while I gesture off camera. You are going to find reputable image sources. It doesn't matter for this purpose whether they are public domain or not, because you're not copying the images, you are using them as inspiration for your art. Let me say that again. You are not copying the images. Using reference is not the same as copying. You are getting a concrete idea of what stuff looks like so that you can use it in your art. So coming back to my little spooder here, we have the tangle of webs coming off the crossbar of the sword hilt. And looking at the references I picked, you will notice that the central legs of this little cobweb spider are shorter than the outer legs. So we can do sort of a nod to the Spider-Man logo without it being like, oh my god, it's Spider-Man. Another thing I'm going to do here, using my image as an inspiration, he's got kind of the triangular little head. He's got little pedipalps. If you didn't know what that was called before, now you do. Those are palps. They have cool little joints on their legs. Spiders are pretty neat. And another thing I'm going to do, I think I was going to try to say this and I distracted myself. I am making sure that my pose for my spider, if that's a word you can use in reference to a spider, is not going to be straight up mirrored symmetrical, because that is boring. So I'm putting one leg in a slightly different position than another one. So that gives it a little more flow and movement. And again, that's part of why I say we're not copying. We're just using it as inspiration to get an idea. Boop. So now I have my little spooter on this side. We'll zoom out again. And I think that really, it helps balance out the composition, because now we've got an element over here to counterbalance this element over here. And I'm really happy with my probably not to scale little cobweb spider over here. So that means that I can go ahead and finish this piece. And with that, I shall also finish this video. I think that's pretty clear. Find references. Oh, side note. We all know that the interwebs and your image searches are now polluted and overflowing with computer-generated garbage. So when you are searching, use whatever parameters you need to make sure you are not copying some imaginary crap made up by a computer, but you are using actual photo reference. Real photos taken by real humans of real stuff, because the computer might imagine stuff that looks pretty close to reality, but that's never going to be as good as going out and looking at real reality yourself and then interpreting it through your own personal artistic lens. That is my little soapbox. I am planning to make a longer video about that at some point, but that is not this day. Meanwhile, I hope that helps. Go forth and make some awesome art using reference. See ya!